Big thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Stay tuned till the end for an exclusive offer. That was singer-songwriter Bearface and his song Summer. There's so much I want and need to say about this incredible musician. Over the past few years, I've become obsessed with his emotional rock ballads. His great voice, impressive vocal range, and moody delivery all combine for some unforgettable music. This is what Bearface brings to Brockhampton. Kieran MacDonald, who now goes by the stage name Bearface, was born on April 23, 1993. One of the only international members of Brockhampton, Bearface was raised in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Other famous singer-songwriters from the area include Neil Hannon, Paul Brady, and the great Van Morrison. Something else that differentiates Kieran from the other members of Brockhampton is that before the boy band assembled, he was already building his own substantial discography. He started playing guitar when he was 11, producing and playing in bands when he was 15, and began using the Bearface pseudonym way back in 2011 when he was about 18. Around this time, he was doing these R&B, lo-fi, electronic remixes of songs and putting them out on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Back then, instead of stylizing his name as Bearface, all lowercase, he wrote his name as Bear with a capital B, / face with a capital F. And by the way, since we're talking about the origins of his stage name, it seems like the best time to reveal this. There's no meaning behind it whatsoever. When asked about the reasoning behind his name during a 2012 interview with Lights and Music, he said this: "There is no reason at all, haha. I hate naming things, and it always makes me laugh when you read about the reasoning behind someone's name, and they come up with this really ostentatious explanation. I just wanted a dumb name which wouldn't be taken seriously." One of Bearface's earliest moments of fame was when he remixed A$AP Rocky's Long Live A$AP, and the track was uploaded to the popular YouTube channel Majestic Casual. Another great example of Bearface's remixing skills can be found in his version of Justin Timberlake's My Love. In 2012, he finally released a project of his own, a 6-track mixtape of beats called Beat Tape. When asked about what he wanted to accomplish with Beat Tape, he said this: "To be honest, I just wanted to put out a few old beats I'd been making over the past year, so it was really only to see if the internet approved of my stuff, haha. I'm a huge R&B fan, and that style of singing is super fun to manipulate. Plus, it's always fun to sample a happy song and make it sound depressing." It's interesting looking back and hearing him talk about this dynamic internal fight between happy and sad within the music he enjoys making. It's a little bit of foreshadowing for what we'll see later on. Speaking of Bearface's future, a really funny moment in the Lights and Music interview is when he's asked about whether or not he'll start using his own vocals down the road. His response: "Maybe in the distant future." Fast forward to a few years later, and he began covering songs like MGMT's Electric Feel, and King Cruel's Easy Easy.
Well, easy, easy.
Soon enough, the young Northern Irishman linked up with the rest of Brockhampton, and the rest was history. However, at first, Bearface was only living in Brockhampton's house in South Central part-time. In an interview with The Fader, he discussed how he would travel from Belfast to LA. "I would go up a few months at a time and have to leave for a while. It was super draining going back and forth, especially with my parents being skeptical, like, what's the long term of this? You're spending so much money going back and forth, where is it going? I was like, it's fine, just trust me. I think now they're finally seeing that it's worth it, but now I'm good. It's just really crazy to be able to say, especially coming from Belfast." Before the saturation era, Bearface was producing more than anything. He helped out a lot on songs like Kevin Abstract's American Boyfriend, Brockhampton's Home, and collaborator of the boy band Roy Blair's Thunder. Once Brockhampton added Jabari and Kiko to help produce, Bearface's role became more varied. He would provide vocals, instrumentation, songwriting, and whatever the band needed at the given time. However, once the Saturation album started coming, we saw Bearface add an entirely new dimension to the band. Specifically, what I'm talking about is Brockhampton's decision to have Bearface close out all 3 albums in the trilogy. On Saturation 1, we were met with plenty of incredible tracks that helped introduce the world to this amazing group. Songs like Gold, Star, and Heat, just to name a few. We were met with hip-hop songs that ranged from intense and destructive like the aforementioned Heat, to soft and sentimental tracks like Face.
Tell me what you waiting for. I just wanna love you, just wanna hold you, never will lie to you.
But at the very end of this 17-track album, right when you think you've heard everything the band has to offer, you hear this. In a group with a ton of different members that you got to hear show off their talents all across Saturation 1, the closing track, Waste, is just Bearface. Most of the songs have 3 or 4, even 5 to 6 singing or rapping members of the group featured on them. That's not even including the 2 to 3 different producers that help create each track. But Waste is just Bearface. It's one of my favorite Brockhampton songs across the whole discography, and it's just him, singing like an angel, playing the guitar, and creating this mesmerizing, moody, emotional rock ballad. We see an entirely new side of Brockhampton. It's funny that the song is called Waste because honestly it's kind of a palate cleanser. Brockhampton brings so many different styles and sounds to the table and then pick and choose from those styles throughout the album. Not to say that it gets repetitive by any means, but it's nice to hear something completely different to close everything out. The song that opened this video, Summer, does the same sort of thing on Saturation 2. We have countless hard-hitting bangers from the greatest boy band in the world, and then everything slows down for a second by the end of the album. It's a moment to reflect. It's 3.5 minutes of pure ecstasy. Something you want to roll down all the windows to, blast in your speakers, and sing at the top of your lungs.
You know that you should be my boy.
The third and final installment of the Saturation trilogy included a slightly different way to close the album out. While we have another amazing ballad from Bearface in the song Team, as the track goes on we also got verses from different members of the group. While personally I wish Team was just Bearface, I get why they would want everyone in the group to be present while they close out the trilogy of albums that made them famous.
You should move on.
There are smaller bits and pieces, intros and choruses from Bearface throughout the trilogy though. He, along with Joba, sings the outro of Saturation 2's Sunny. As well as the outro on Saturation 3's Bleach. Another small tidbit is that Bearface sang the theme song for Kevin Abstract and Brockhampton's show on Viceland, American Boy Band. While we haven't seen too much of Bearface doing verses, whether they be rapping or singing, I'm really eager to see what the boys pull out on their upcoming album, The Best Years of Our Lives. Just from the performance of their song Tanya that they performed on Jimmy Fallon, it seems like Bearface could be getting a lot more of a spotlight in the group. And since then, his spotlight has grown even larger with the release of Brockhampton's new song, 1999 Wildfire. And the idea of Bearface's place in Brockhampton is how I want to close out this video. In a group where there are some boisterous and bold figures, Bearface is the exact opposite. He's mysterious, he's an enigma, that's kind of his thing. Even beyond the music, he brings that extra secretive, inscrutable vibe to the band. But as this whole video is shown, he's not just a pretty face. The music he creates, whether it be his electronic depressive remixes of popular songs, the production he's done on a variety of projects, or his impressive closing tracks throughout the Saturation trilogy, he fits a niche in Brockhampton that takes them to an entirely new level. And I really appreciate him for that. Now I want to take a second to talk about today's sponsor. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 17,000 creative, business, technology, and lifestyle classes. Premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes from experts working in their field, so you can improve your skills, unlock new opportunities, and do the work you love. Skillshare is also more affordable than most learning platforms out there, and annual subscription is less than $10 a month. Last time I mentioned that I've personally been watching a lot of videos on Adobe Premiere and masking tools. While I've been having a lot of fun practicing with that, more recently I've been looking into a lot of music production classes. Learning how Young Guru, a legendary hip-hop producer, works in the studio with him teaching the class is so cool. how to use certain kinds of equipment, what works best, and so on. The first 500 people to use my link can get 2 months of Skillshare Premium free. Then it's as low as $10 a month after that if you decide to continue to learn using the Skillshare platform. Just to reiterate, the first 500 people to click on the link in the description below get 2 months of Skillshare Premium free. What are you waiting for? Go sign up now. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. If you want to follow my social media, the links are down below. You can also donate to my Patreon, help the show, and get some cool rewards if you click the link on the screen. And I sell merch at tpublic.com/user/alphomedia. Thanks for watching, and always forward.